Joe, you're speaking about the struggles with pornography, the virtue of chastity, like putting that to St. Joseph and really asking him to be the patron that you're asking. Can you speak more about how St. Joseph can really help those struggling with pornography and need to have that virtue of chastity? How's that actually happen? How can people really enter into this aspect of Saint Joseph in their life?
Regarding St. Joseph helping with like pornography or sex addiction, the more familiar you get with him, the more you think about him. Like it, as Catholics, we're privileged to have reminders of holiness, like images, icons, whatever, a medal. And if you're always, we're very visual people. So if we always see Joseph, we're going to be reminded of him, and kind of catch yourself before you sin. Set your wallpaper on your laptop, set it to a picture of St. Joseph or something. Or, I know that sounds kind of dumb, but for real, do everything you can to try and turn your gaze to something holy. Like I remember when I was going through the worst of my porn addiction, it got so bad that I couldn't even stand to look at a sacred image. I couldn't look at a crucifix or a statue. Because I felt ashamed. So I would hide myself, kind of like Adam and Eve hid themselves from in the garden when they sinned. And that goes back to, me seeing St. Joseph being hidden away. There's no reason for that. So it's like, get out of the shadows, just man up, face what you've done and move on. A just man falls 7 times, right? But he gets back up. Who's Joseph? A just man. We want to be just men, not just men, but just men, you know. So take St. Joseph for your personal patron, ask him, like, St. Joseph, help me to not look at this stuff anymore. Uh, Even in Mass, I'll admit, in Mass, sometimes my mind would wander when I was a teenager and I would start thinking about porn. And I started talking to St. Joseph when that would come up. And I'd be like, I'd have the courage of St. Joseph and I'd say, okay, Satan, get thy fiery red ass back to hell and leave me alone. I don't need you. I need Christ. He is what I need, and Joseph is going to help me. And terror of demons, I mean, again, this is what I touched on earlier. The demons are afraid of him. Terror of demons isn't just a polite little title that we hand out to people. It's like, oh, well, let's give St. Joseph another honorary title, Terror of Demons. No, it is a responsibility. Like when he left this earth and went up to heaven, he probably didn't know he was going to be given this new task, Terror of Demons. You're not just out there sitting on your cloud playing your harp. You are going to be interceding for people. You're going to be providing spiritual enrichment and guidance. And this is spiritual warfare, So we need to, with St. Joseph's help, of course, as our model, we need to start kicking ass and taking names, And we're the church militant, right? Militant, that's another word that's thrown around. Church militant, not church pushover, A lot of us, oh, well, a temptation and, oh, the demons are stronger than me, and that's nonsense. We have the chaste terror of demons. And we have St. Michael the Archangel. We have a whole heavenly army that we cannot even fathom. But at its head is St. Michael and St. Joseph, the two of them. And if you guys remember, shortly after Pope Francis was elected, he actually consecrated the Vatican City State to St. Joseph and St. Michael. That also harkens back to Pope Leo XIII. He composed the famous St. Michael prayer, asking to defend the church. A couple of years later, he wrote to the O Blessed Joseph, the prayer that you recited at the beginning of this. And in that prayer, there is a bit of a military theme as well. Defend the chosen children of Jesus Christ from the snares of the enemy. That's not just pretty, or dramatic words. We have to be more aggressive in our faith. We are asking, we are begging, help us, defend us, not just, okay, I'm going to rattle off this prayer and then I'm done. It's an obligation on St. Joseph, but also an obligation on our part. Father Hamilton has the relic of the Holy Cloak of St. Joseph. For those who pray the Holy Cloak, there's an obligation in that prayer at the beginning and towards the end, an obligation on the faithful who pray that. It says, I will do all in my power to make you known, to honor you all the days of my life. Well, how are you going to do that? You have to live it. You can't just read it off the paper. If you're going to pray the Holy Cloak and you're not going to honor St. Joseph all the days of your life, then don't pray it, because you're going to be lying in that prayer, because it says that you promised to honor him all the days of your life. If you do honor him all the days of your life, you've got that constant protection with you. You're dad's boy. You've got him. He's got you. You know what I mean? No one's going to mess with you. Actually, that's not true. The demons are going to mess with you, but they're not going to succeed, because you got the terror of demons on your side. They are terrified. The devil's time is short. So what's he doing? He's attacking you guys, the priests. We have the pedophilia scandal. We have, these rogue priests who are preaching heresy, present company excluded, I'm hoping. And
yeah.
Pope Benedict the 16th, I believe it was December, I can't remember the year. He actually entrusted all pastors of the Catholic Church to St. Joseph. I think it was during a homily or an angelus or something. A lot of people don't know that, but all of you priests, you holy men, are under his patronage, by act of Pope Benedict the 16th. So
Beautiful.
The beginning of the question was, how can people use St. Joseph to protect their chastity? I kind of went off again. Again, pray to him. Keep reminders around you. Ite ad Joseph, go to Joseph. It's not complicated. You don't have to rattle off a million prayers to him, in a specific order, and know all these theological insights into him. Just go to him and love him, get to know him, love him. He's your father. Get to know your dad, and he'll get to know you. He'll show an interest in you, and together you'll conquer the world. Again, that's enough of me. I apologize. Carry on, Father Richard.
That's great, Joe.
No.
I definitely think it's something I'm trying to do, even though I do daily videos, reading all the book. I'm still not used to going to Joseph. Sometimes throughout the day I remember, and just the little prayers throughout the day, you start to build that habit of turning toward him. And so it's something I'm trying to get more often. So, but every time we do it, there's something good about it. And yeah, it's knowing that he is the terror of demons up in heaven. There's a really good reason to turn to him. And it's just building that habit of doing it. Because whenever we're in temptation, we often just want to sit back and hope it goes away, almost kind of thing. We don't want to engage in the right way. And so just going to Joseph's it's always a good decision.
Speaks to something essential in the spiritual life. And you said it without saying it, Joe, and that is, so many people, they try and pluck out. Again, this is another great image by Fulton Sheen, who was kind of the master of imagery in his preaching. He said, so often we try and pluck out our vices, we try and rip out our vices, or he said, no, you don't rip it out, you crowd it out. He said, you crowd, and that's what you're doing by encouraging people, and you discover in your own life the importance. It's not that you can't pray all day verbal prayers, because you got to work, you got to, the carpenter has to hammer the nail, and so on and so on. But you can use moments in the day, like when you get up in the morning, you can make the morning offering, you can include St. Joseph in your morning prayer, and you can see your different moments in the day as almost like oases where you stop and you drink from the water of prayer. And you're basically crowding your mind, and you're pushing out, you're combating the stuff that will always try to, because nature abhors a vacuum. And so if you don't fill it with good things, the bad things will, just sort of come back right in. We all know what it's like, for one degree or another, because it's a constant warfare. So maybe either, I don't know, I'll leave this one to Father Richard, speak to how confirmation, the sacrament of confirmation, which I think is kind of like the Holy Spirit, is the ignored sacrament. The Holy Spirit is the great unknown, and Joseph is the great silent saint. They're I think they all kind of work together in this regard. confirmation helps us to be warriors and soldiers of Christ. And maybe St. Joseph can help us in that, bringing our confirmation alive and making us true soldiers of Christ.